So, guys, I want to share something very cool with you, or at least something very interesting. I had a piece of property that I sold that was in the building that David Berkowitz used to live in. It was actually on his floor. So, if you don't know who David Berkowitz is, that is the son of Sam. And I got hold of this property. I had it. I sold it. And this building, the apartment that I was in was let's just say it was next to his apartment. And I want to show you this building or where he lived, and I'll show you what his views look like. So he lived in like this 1-bedroom apartment on the top floor, and this is back in the 70s. David Berkowitz is the son of Sam, and he would find people that were like making out in cars in, I think, the Bronx and Yonkers. I think mostly the Bronx. And he'd shoot them. So it would be a guy and a girl to be making out, and he'd come up from behind and he, popped them. He worked for the post office, and he used to deliver the mail. And people that knew him, he was just like this normal, ordinary type of guy. And he lived in a couple of different places, and the last place that he lived, this is the elevator, we're getting into David Berkowitz elevator. The last place that he lived was in this building in Yonkers. And he kept saying he heard the dog and the neighbor's dog, and supposedly there was a dog that was barking near this property that he lived in last. I don't know how true that is. And he lost his mind. He used to get his newspaper delivered. So years ago, they used to have like a paper boy, a newspaper delivery. And the newspaper boy said that he was a good tipper. So he used to tip pretty good. The people at the post office that knew him, it was fine. They didn't suspect anything of him. Where I am now is, so this is what happened. I'm flipping this property. I take it. I couldn't get into the door that I wanted to get into. This happens a lot. So I'm with the custodian now. This building is now all high tech. It's got cameras every place. It's got cameras on every floor, in the elevator, outside, inside. I'm inside one of the custodial rooms with this custodian. He's trying to find me keys. What happened with David Berkowitz was I don't know exactly how he got caught. They somehow traced it back, and they zoned in on this building where he was. And they arrested him. And they pulled him out of the building. And then what the building tried to do, this particular building, is they tried to say that he didn't live in this building. And they tried to say that it was the building across the street, which I thought was interesting. So they were trying to say that the building across the street was the building that he lived, because they didn't want bad publicity. But so David Berkowitz worked for the post office, and supposedly he was a good worker. And the route that he was on, which was in Yonkers, he used to deliver mail to my friend's mom. And my friend's mom used to talk with this guy. And he was a good mailman. And he was in the part of Yonkers, Central Avenue is the best way to say it, is where he used to maybe do. I don't know if he did it his whole career, but he was up in that area. So if you're watching this video, you know anything about New York City or Yonkers, Central Avenue was where he was at. It's probably one of the most popular places in Yonkers. And that's where I had family members and people, and he used to deliver them the mail. This building is not a cheap building. For like a 1-bedroom apartment, I'm looking at between $150,000 to $200,000, and it's got views of the Hudson River, which they're absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't do justice to pictures that I'm showing you, and I'm showing you pictures of the apartment that he lived in. This is what his apartment would look like: his kitchen, his bedroom, or his one room. There was a little balcony overlooking the water. So it's a nice place. Now things have been updated. So I don't think it looked like this in the 1970s. He got arrested like 77, I believe. 77, yeah, 77, 78. So it's like almost 40 something years ago. But this is, what it looked like. So I'm walking through this building. I couldn't get into this particular apartment that I wanted to get into. I had to go to the super, and the super's kind of taking me around. And how I found out it was this building is I had it was either one of the inspectors or an appraiser that came in, because when you sell property, they have like inspectors and appraisers, and I can't remember who it was or which one it was. Either or, the inspector, the guy that was with me that was looking at the property, he was a lot older than I was. I mean, he had to be, I don't know, I would say late 60s. I would say 60s. I'll leave it at that. And he was like, do you know what building you're in? And this is happening while we're on the elevator. I said, no, what building are we in? He goes, somebody famous lived here. Now, there's a lot of famous people from Yonkers, New York. And I don't know who he's going to say. I don't know who's from, I think Steven Tyler lived in Yonkers at one point. Matt Dillon was, I think, somewhere near Yonkers. But there's a couple of people from Yonkers. There's a couple of rappers from Yonkers. Yonkers has some people that come from it. And he started to tell me about David Berkowitz. He didn't know that I knew who it was. I know who David Berkowitz is. I've seen the movie Son of Sam, and I've just heard about it. You hear about it. It's a New York thing. And I said, all right, let me look at what this is. Let me walk around this building, because I was really just going to where I had to go and back. But I said, let me just kind of see what this building's about. It's a nice building. And I've been back there a couple of times since to go in and out of certain apartments and do deals, there. Things sell there. It's actually a desirable place to live. It's all updated building. It's clean. I don't know how else to say. All the apartments kind of updated. It's got security in and out. So it's a pretty, it's a good building. You can live there. And I just thought it was interesting. That's where David Berkowitz lived, and he lived on the top floor, and his views were amazing. I don't know, what was going on with him. He's mentally ill now. He was mentally ill. He's still in jail, if I'm correct. I'm not sure exactly what prison, but he's someplace. And that is it. So I'm like and subscribe. David Berkowitz was before my time, but I knew who he was. So some people might have more information about David Berkowitz. I don't want to put you can find the address. So if you Google David Berkowitz, Yonkers, things of that nature, you'll find it. I don't want to shout the building out. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I guess it doesn't matter. But either way, it's very interesting, this guy's story. And there's a lot of documentaries and movies and stuff on David Berkowitz that you can see that definitely have more information than what I can give. But with that being said, I hope you guys just enjoyed some of the things that you might not see, or walk through where this guy did live. And I hope you find that interesting. So like, subscribe, comment, share. God bless you. Do good. Make money. Stay healthy. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right? Talk to you guys later.